in this vast desert, we'd stage these basically road wars with our actors in the vehicles, and it was like being in the middle of a real live video game. It was extraordinary. It was technology that really didn't exist until relatively recently. We'd had cranes and so on, but they were never as agile as these were. And I think it lends the movie a tremendous, kinetic quality, which I don't think we could have achieved back 30 years ago, as hard as we tried.
This is a special preview of the Academy Awards. I'm John Horn. And now, the only two filmmakers this year who have the distinction of nominations for their writing and directing, and for Best Picture. First, the Catholic Church sex abuse drama, Spotlight.
We got law. This is it. No, this is law covering for one priest. There's another 90 out there. Yeah, and we'll print that story when we get it, but we got to go with this now. No, I'm not going to rush the story, Mike. But we don't have a choice, Robbie. If we don't rush to print, somebody else is going to find these letters and butcher the story. Joe Quimby from the Herald was at the freaking courthouse. Mike. What? Why are we hesitating?
Spotlight tells the story of how a team of Boston Globe reporters took on the powerful Catholic Church. The team uncovered hundreds of sexual misconduct cases involving priests whose crimes were often covered up by their superiors. The film's director and co-writer, Tom McCarthy, told me why this was a delicate project for him.
The first person I sat down with when I really seriously considered taking this project on was my father, who was a very devout Catholic and a wonderful, wonderful man. He's since passed away. And I genuinely wanted him to know I was going to do this because, one, his input was important to me, and two, I knew the minute that it was announced in the press, they would be hearing from it, and sure enough, the next day was announced we were getting calls from Boston to Providence, Rhode Island, all the places.
Calling you or your father?
Calling my parents to say, why is he doing this? What is this going to be? And they got an immediate, they actually thanked me later, like, thank God you gave us a heads up. I'm Irish-American, raised in a very Catholic family, and I'm more of a lapsed Catholic, but I still think I identify my spirituality through the Catholic Church. And look, when I sat down and really considered this project, there was a part of me that felt maybe I was the right person because I still have a certain strong emotional and spiritual connection to it, but also empathy for it. And the victims and the survivors, of course, are the people that were most damaged by this, but also was many of the other people that relied on Catholicism who really felt like they had the rug pulled out on them.
When the Boston Globe was doing this investigation, they were under a tremendous amount of pressure from the Roman Catholic Church in Boston. I'm curious, as you started working on the film itself, did some of the same criticisms start popping up, and was the church willing to grant you access to church buildings or sets that you needed to film your movie?
No. The church was in no way cooperative to this. And to be, I guess fair, we didn't reach out a lot to the Catholic Church. The reporters didn't reach out to a lot to the church. They were investigating the scandal and the cover-up, which was their primary focus of this investigation, the cover-up of the Catholic Church. So to that end, no. Did we get a certain amount of pushback from the society at large? Yeah, sure. In some cases it was very direct, and in some cases it was a little bit more nuanced. But yeah, that still exists. I mean,
what was the direct complaint or threat?
See, I'm totally listening to this, and I'm thinking, I'd like to go see this movie. And then the fucking pimp just drove by, pulled up to somebody who gave him something, and I can't believe I didn't get that on video. Driving in the white car. And I'm like, gee, Alex, why does that sound familiar? And he was going to pass the guy and almost drove into me. I mean, he wasn't almost driving into me, but he was trying to pass the guy coming head on into me.